Near the end of World War I, the huge casualties, ruined cities, and shortages of food and fuel had exhausted and angered many of the Russian people. Revolution was in the air. When World War I started in 1914, Russians were filled with national pride and united against a common enemy, Germany. But the war would drag on for 4 years, and with each year, the Russian casualties grow. Factories cannot produce enough goods for the war effort. The transportation system breaks down. Soldiers on the front lines run out of supplies. By 1915, many soldiers have no rifles or ammunition. The war is bleeding the country dry. The people begin to question the competency of the Russian generals leading the war. In 1917, in an effort to boost morale, Tsar Nicholas II personally takes command of the troops at the front. But he proves to be no more competent than his generals, and the casualties keep mounting. People are especially angered that in his absence, the Tsar's wife Alexandra is running the country. Many Russians distrust and fear Alexandra because she was born in Germany. In March 1917, workers in St. Petersburg, renamed Petrograd during the war, go on strike. Continued losses on the front lines and shortages of food and fuel at home bring the Tsarist monarchy to collapse. How did the revolution start? Marchers take to the streets shouting, "Bread, bread!" Hunger has turned to anger. Crowds break into food shops throughout the city. Revolution is imminent. But this time, the Tsar's troops do not fire on the crowds. They join them. This uprising would come to be called the February Revolution. With the troops refusing to fight the demonstrators, the government is left helpless. Finally, the Tsar steps down. Crowds cheer as the Duma, the Russian parliament, sets up a temporary government. But this government decides to continue the unpopular war with Germany. It is a big mistake. Most Russians are tired of the war, and they start to take matters into their own hands. Groups opposed to the war form Soviets, or councils of workers and soldiers. While the Soviets try to work with the new government, the Bolsheviks quickly take charge. Who are the Bolsheviks? The Bolsheviks are a revolutionary party made up of radical socialists and are led by Vladimir Lenin. He promises the Russian people peace, land, and bread. In November 1917, Lenin and his Red Guards, made up of armed factory workers and sailors, attack the provisional government in Petrograd. In a matter of days, Lenin's forces have won.
Dun dun dun.